Hello, and welcome to Midnight Affairs Tales. Your support means everything to us. We'd love to know, which geographical location are you joining from today? At home on the go, share with us below now. Let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1. Welcome home, stranger. The hospital hallway was too quiet for a celebration. Travis Huxley stepped through the maternity wing's double doors, boots echoing against tile. The scent of antiseptic hit him harder than a bullet. He'd been home from Iraq for less than 12 hours, still in uniform, duffel in the trunk of a borrowed sedan. He hadn't slept. His pulse thudded behind his ears. Kendra was already in the room when he walked in, cradling a pink-wrapped bundle. She looked up, forced a smile. "She's beautiful," she whispered. Travis approached slowly, as if the child might shatter if he stepped wrong. He took the baby, his hands steady from years in combat zones, but his heart wasn't. She was tiny, breathing fast, head full of dark curls. But her eyes were blue. Not his kind of blue. Not even close. Kendra turned away, pretending to fiddle with the four-line. "She came early," she mumbled. "Like, really early." He nodded, staring at the infant's face. "She got a name?" "Juniper," she said. "Junie." Travis stared longer. Not a damn feature matched. Not the nose. Not the cheekbones. Not the way her fingers curled. The nurse came in, clipboard in hand. "Dad, want to sign the birth certificate?" He didn't move. "Give us a minute." When the door closed, Travis looked up at Kendra. Her eyes didn't meet his. "You sure she's early?" he asked quietly. Kendra blinked too fast. "Yeah. You know, stress, deployment, it messes the body up." Travis didn't argue. Didn't scream. Just kissed the baby's forehead and laid her back down. Outside, he stopped by the vending machine. Inserted $1. Missed the buttons twice. She lied. And that wasn't his daughter. But she was his problem. Was she the only one? Wait. I need to tell you something important. Have you ever realized that you keep watching my videos but haven't subscribed yet? This video has reached this point, which means you're enjoying it. So why not subscribe? I have a big goal, 10,000 subscribers. And you can help me reach it. Think about it. If you don't subscribe now, you might miss my next big video. This is the moment. Hit that subscribe button now. Do it now. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out. I know you'll do it. And when we hit 5,000 subscribers, I have a special surprise for you. Now let's continue story. 3 weeks later, the Huxley house looked like a magazine cover. Balloons. Welcome signs. Leftover cupcakes. Travis sat at the kitchen table, staring at a slice of cake he hadn't touched. Kendra bounced Junie in her arms, laughing a little too loud at something Marley had said. Marley didn't laugh back. Travis watched his daughter, the real one. 16. Sharp. Quiet when she needed to be. She glanced toward him. Their eyes met, and she tilted her head the slightest bit. "A question?" He nodded once. She turned back to her phone. "So," Kendra chirped, "everyone liked the decorations, right?" "They're fine," Travis said, not looking up. "I stayed up all night baking." "Must have been exhausting," he muttered. Kendra's smile twitched, just a flicker. She put the baby in the swing and joined him at the table. "You okay?" "Jet lag," he said. "I thought maybe we could all go to the park tomorrow. Just the 4 of us." 5, Marley said without looking up. "If we count Wes." The room froze. Kendra blinked. "What?" Marley shrugged. "I mean, isn't that who you were texting during the party? The guy who works late nights?" Travis didn't react. Just sipped his water. Ice tapped the glass. Kendra stood. "That's not funny." Marley stood too. "Neither is cheating." The baby stirred in the swing. Travis slowly stood, chair legs screeching. "We're going to bed," he said. "Lock the doors." He left the kitchen. Marley followed, glancing back once at her mom, arms tight across her chest, cheeks pale. In the hallway, Travis stopped. "You sure?" Marley nodded. "She thinks I'm just some dumb teenager." He smiled slightly. "She thought the same about me." The show was over. Rehearsal done. The real play was about to begin. At 2:17 a.m., Travis was already awake when the crib squeaked. The baby whimpered. Kendra murmured something and padded down the hall. Travis lay still on the couch, arm under his head, eyes locked on the ceiling fan spinning above him like a slow-bladed weapon. He didn't sleep in their bedroom anymore. The night air was thick with questions. A flicker of movement caught his eye, the baby monitor's screen blinking. Kendra on camera, whispering into her phone with her back turned to the crib. He doesn't know anything, she hissed. Don't panic. I'll get the papers signed. Travis watched, jaw clenched. He slipped outside, hoodie over his t-shirt, popped the trunk of his car. Inside, tucked between camo and paperwork, was the small testing kit he picked up the day after Junie was born. A DNA kit. Swabs. Vial. Discreet lab instructions. He hadn't told Marley. Not yet. He needed proof. Hard proof. The next morning, while Kendra made pancakes and sang along to pop radio like nothing was broken, Travis walked into the nursery. Junie cooed in her crib. He leaned down, steady hands collecting a cheek swab. The baby didn't cry. By the time Kendra turned the corner, he was smiling down at her. You're good at this, she said, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Travis turned. Takes training. She kissed his cheek. He let her. 2 days later, a white envelope slid into their mailbox. Travis took it before anyone else could. Sat alone in his truck, ripped it open. Probability of paternity, 0%. He folded the paper twice. Put it in the glove box. He didn't punch anything. Didn't scream. He just smiled, calm and cold. Checkmate, he whispered. The sun was barely up when Travis stepped out onto the porch, coffee in hand. Hoodie zipped to the throat. The Colorado morning air bit through his sleeves, but his blood ran hotter than ever. Across the street, the world looked normal. School buses rolled past. Lawn sprinklers clicked. But Travis had learned long ago, normal is just camouflage. Inside, Kendra hummed as she packed Marley's lunch. Junie gurgled in her playpen. Domestic bliss, manufactured and staged. Travis's phone buzzed. A name flashed, Micah Vale. An old friend from Army intelligence. The kind of guy who could track a flea through a sandstorm and find the flea's ex-wife, too. Travis picked up. You get it. Micah's voice was low. Yeah, you're gonna want to sit for this. I'm already standing. Her call logs linked to a burner. Consistent contact. You won't like the name. Travis said nothing. West Orman. Sheriff's deputy. Local. Same last name as the badge on those speeding tickets you covered for her last summer. Travis's grip tightened on the railing. Micah continued, and bro, this dude isn't just sleeping with your wife. He's dirty. Real dirty. Fake citations, kickbacks from tow yards. You want me to dig deeper? No, Travis said. I'll take it from here. He ended the call and stepped back inside. Kendra looked up. Everything okay? He smiled. Never better. She smiled back, nervous, like she was trying to read the air. Marley was at the kitchen island, earbuds in. She glanced at Travis, saw the look in his eyes. Her posture straightened. Later that day, Travis picked Marley up from school. No music played in the truck, just the hum of the engine. I need to ask you something, he said, and I need the truth. Marley nodded. You ever seen your mom with someone who wasn't me? A pause. She looked down. Yeah. At the grocery store. Twice. Same guy. She said he was an old friend. What did he look like? Bald. Gun on his belt. Travis's jaw locked. She doesn't know I saw them. Good, he said. Let's keep it that way. The war wasn't coming. It was already here. It started small. Marley began noting the little things. Late-night showers when no one was dirty. Phone calls that stopped when she walked into the room. Whispered names in her sleep. She wasn't doing it for revenge. She was doing it for her father. He'd never said it out loud, but Marley could see it in his face. The restraint, the calculation, the quiet pain. Her dad wasn't just angry. He was preparing. One evening, Kendra stepped out for a pharmacy run. She was gone for almost 2 hours. Marley didn't waste time. She went straight to the bedroom, pulled the laundry basket into the closet, climbed up, and reached behind a row of winter jackets. There it was. A second phone. No case. No lock screen. She took pictures of the messages, Wes, saved under D, and sent them to her own phone. Messages like, I told you I'd take care of him. He's back, but still clueless. Once I get the money, we're gone. She placed the burner phone back, exactly where it was. Not a single thread moved. When Kendra returned, Marley was on the couch, casually flipping through Netflix. "How's your headache?" her mom asked. Marley didn't look up. "Gone now." That night, she handed Travis the screenshots while they stood in the garage. He didn't say thank you. He didn't need to. He just nodded. "She's planning something." Marley folded her arms. "Then we should be planning harder." Travis turned. For the first time in weeks, he smiled, not out of joy, but recognition. His daughter wasn't a child anymore. She was his ally. And she was in. The envelope sat in the glove box for days. Travis didn't open it right away. Not because he feared the contents, he already knew. But because once it was open, the war would go from silent to surgical. It was Thursday when he finally did it. Junie was asleep. Kendra was getting her nails done. Marley was upstairs editing videos. He sat in the garage, engine off, windows down. Just the sound of wind through the cracked concrete walls. He opened it. 0% he didn't flinch. Instead, he carefully slid the paper back in, sealed it, and opened his laptop. He started a folder titled Op. Reset. Inside, he uploaded the paternity results, the screenshots from Marley, the call logs from Micah. Every piece of evidence would serve a purpose, not just to burn Kendra, but to dismantle her completely without a single scream. Later that night, Kendra walked in wearing a new shade of lipstick and a smug glow. "Guess what?" she said. "I booked us a couples massage. My treat." He didn't answer. "You're quiet lately," she added. "Is everything okay?" Travis smiled. "Perfect." The next day, he took Marley to lunch across town, just the two of them. They ate in a quiet diner while Travis reviewed what he knew. "She's using Wes. Probably others," he said. "Is Wes the baby's dad?" "No," Travis said. "And that's what makes this better." Marley leaned in. "What are we going to do?" Travis sipped his coffee. "We're not going to scream. We're not going to fight. We're going to make her think she's winning. And then," he looked her in the eyes, "then we erase her." The living room was dim, lit only by the flicker of the evening news and the soft hum of the ceiling fan. Junie babbled quietly in her swing. Marley sat on the carpet, pretending to scroll through her phone. Travis stood near the fireplace, holding the DNA envelope in one hand. He waited until Kendra walked in, brushing crumbs off her hoodie and sipping a diet soda like nothing mattered. "You talked to your mom today?" he asked, voice low. Kendra blinked. "Huh? No. Why?" "Just wondering." He held out the envelope. No expression. No warning. Kendra took it, confused. She unfolded it slowly, scanning the results. Her mouth opened slightly. No gasp. No denial. Just nothing. Then she smiled. "So that's what this is about." Travis didn't move. "I was wondering when you'd figure it out," she said. Marley looked up. Kendra tossed the paper on the coffee table. "I mean, what did you expect? You left. You were gone for a year. We were barely talking." "I was deployed," he said flatly. "You were unreachable. I was at war." Kendra scoffed. "Yeah, well, life didn't stop here." Travis leaned against the wall. "So who's the father?" She shrugged. "Why does it matter? It's not like either of you want her now." Marley stood. "You don't even know who it is, do you?" Kendra spun on her. "Excuse me." Travis raised a hand. "Don't." The silence grew thick, uncomfortable. Kendra turned back to Travis. "So what now? You gonna kick us out?" "No," he said. She tilted her head. "Then what?" Travis looked at her, calm as stone. "You'll see." For the first time, her smirk faded. There were no tears, no apologies. Just a woman caught without a script to read from. Travis walked out without another word. Marley followed. In the garage, he pulled down a folded map and opened it across the workbench. "You ready?" he asked. Marley nodded. "I've been ready." He tapped 3 names he'd written in red ink. "We don't just expose her. We bury everything she's built." The bar was low-lit and smelled like stale beer and pine-scented floor cleaner. Travis stepped through the door like a man revisiting a memory he tried to forget. Booths were half full, TVs muted, and in the back corner sat Wes Dorman. Shaved head, sheriff's badge clipped loosely to his belt, boots up on the chair across from him, laughing at something on his phone. Travis approached slow, calculated. "Wes," he said. The deputy looked up, expression shifting in microseconds, from amusement to surprise, then caution. "Well, hell," Wes said, sitting up. "Travis Huxley. I heard you were back. I am. You drinking? First round's on me. Least I can do for your service. Travis pulled the chair back and Saturday. I'm not here for a drink. Wes leaned forward, grin fading. So what's this about? Travis placed a phone on the table. Press play. Kendra's voice crackled through the speaker. I'll handle him. He's still clueless. Once I get the divorce papers filed, we're free. Wes flinched. Jesus. Travis paused the audio. You still sleeping with her? Wes shifted in his seat. Look, man. I didn't know she was married at first. That's not what I asked. Wes swallowed. No, not for a while. Not since she got weird. Define weird. She started talking like she had dirt on people. Like she wanted out, but with a payday. Travis leaned forward. She ever mention whose kid it really is? No, Wes said. She told me it was mine. But then she said it wasn't. Said I should just trust her. So I bailed. Travis nodded. You're going to help me. Wes laughed. Like hell I am. You will, Travis said. Because I know about the tickets. The tow yard cuts. The arrest you never filed. And if I hand it IA, you're done. Wes froze. You give me access to everything. Every patrol route. Every shift. Every favor she called in. You feed me what I need. You stay clean. And if I don't? Travis stood. Then I bring you both down together. He left the bar without looking back. Wes didn't stop him. The garage smelled like oil and sawdust, the air thick with quiet rage. Marley sat on a stool, laptop open, flipping between documents and folders Travis had compiled. The whiteboard on the wall now read, Operation, Reset Targets, Kendra Wes, Unknown Third, Dentist. Assets, DNA report, burner phone, call logs, voice memos. Marley's photo evidence. Travis paced slowly, reading a sheet of phone records he'd printed out. She called a number 6 times last week. Not Wes. Different area code. Dentist's office, Marley said. I Googled it. Travis raised an eyebrow. She's covering every angle. Marley pulled up another file. You were right not to file for divorce yet. If she thinks you're distracted, she'll let her guard down. She's already dropping pieces, he said. Now we control the game. They built the timeline on the wall. Photos, sticky notes, arrows. Kendra wasn't just cheating. She was positioning. Trying to lock down money, shift assets, maybe even make Travis look unstable in court. But she underestimated silence. At dinner that night, Kendra set the table like they were still a happy couple. I was thinking, she said. We should look at couples counseling. For Marley's sake. Travis passed the potatoes. Sure. Really? He smiled. It's a good idea. Marley didn't say a word. Just ate quietly, chewing each bite like it was the only thing keeping her mouth shut. After dinner, Kendra kissed Travis's cheek. He let her. Later, in the garage, Marley whispered, How do you not scream at her? Travis looked at the red string connecting the photos. Because silence is the sharpest blade I've got. And he was getting ready to cut. The table was set like a magazine photo shoot. Candlelight. Polished silverware. A roast chicken seasoned to perfection. Kendra had outdone herself. Travis watched her float around the kitchen like she was on a cooking show, smiling too wide, talking too fast. She wore the red dress he bought her 2 anniversaries ago, before he knew she was someone else. Marley sat at the far end of the table, hands in her lap, silent. This looks amazing, Travis said as Kendra placed the last dish down. She beamed. I thought it'd be good for us. You know, reset things. Perfect timing, he said. I've been thinking about fresh starts too. Her eyes flicked toward him. Really? He nodded. Absolutely. They sat. Plates filled. Toasts were made. Kendra raised her glass. To new beginnings. Travis clinked. And honest endings. Marley watched them both like a courtroom sketch artist, every twitch committed to memory. So, Kendra said, cutting her chicken, I was thinking maybe we could get away. Just us. Like a retreat. A retreat, Travis echoed. Yeah. There's this cabin up in Aspen. Private, quiet. Reconnect. He smiled softly. You planning on bringing Wes? Kendra froze mid-bite. The silence clanged louder than any words. Marley dropped her fork, metal on ceramic. Kendra looked up slowly. What did you just say? I said. Travis repeated, still smiling. Are you planning to bring Wes? You're paranoid, she snapped. That's insane. Marley stood. He knows everything. Kendra turned to her. Excuse me. I found your second phone. Your texts. The photos. The lies. Kendra's face drained. Her fork dropped. You went through my things. Travis stood. Calm. Collected. We've been watching you for weeks. You had no right. You lost that right, Travis said. When you made this house a lie. Kendra staggered back a step. No yelling. No drama, he said. You've already hung yourself. I just built the platform. The burner phone was no longer hidden. It sat on the coffee table, screen up, message thread open. Kendra stared at it like it was a snake about to bite. Travis circled the living room slowly, arms crossed. Wes told me everything. She didn't respond. The real question is, he said, what else haven't you told me? Her eyes flicked to Marley, then back to the phone. That's private. Travis cut her off. Not anymore. The texts were clear. He's back, but clueless. Once the paperwork's through, we're out. Need that money. Make him look unstable if you have to. You were trying to frame me, Travis said. Military PTSD, unstable behavior. Classic setup. Kendra's voice cracked. I didn't mean, yes, you did. Marley stepped forward, holding a flash drive. I backed up the entire phone. Messages. Photos. Call logs. We have it all. Kendra's shoulders slumped. I trusted you with our family, Travis said. And you played me like I was disposable. She sat down, burying her face in her hands. But no tears came. You think I'll lose everything, Travis said. But you don't understand. You've already lost. Kendra looked up, hollow. So what now? You going to ruin me? No, he said. You're going to do that yourself. He walked to the door, pausing. You had a choice. You could have told the truth. You didn't. Now, everything that happens next, it's your karma catching up. He stepped out, and Marley followed. Inside, Kendra finally cried, but not out of guilt. Out of fear. Travis met Wes in an empty park after sunset. No lights. Just the sounds of wind through the trees and the crunch of gravel under boots. Wes leaned against his cruiser. You said you had something? Travis pulled a manila folder from his coat. Everything Kendra sent you, plus the stuff she didn't. He handed it over. Wes flipped through the printouts, texts, photos, timestamps. She said you were losing it, that you were violent. Travis raised a brow. You see any bruises on her? Wes shook his head. She was going to take us both down, Travis said. She just thought she'd walk away clean. Wes swallowed hard. I figured she was hiding something. But this? She told you the baby was yours? Yeah. It's not. Lab confirmed. Wes blinked. Then whose is it? She doesn't even know, Travis said. Wes looked away, jaw flexing. She said she loved me. Travis laughed once, short and bitter. She said the same to me. A week before she faked a migraine and met you at a motel. Wes stiffened. How do you know that? I followed her. A beat of silence. Then Wes said, so what do you want? You're going to cooperate. Feed me intel. Your patrols. Her patterns. The favors you did for her. All of it. And in return, I won't hand this to internal affairs, Travis said, tapping the folder. Yet. Wes looked at him long and hard, then nodded once. Travis turned to go. And Wes. Yeah. She's not done lying. Neither am I, Wes muttered. As Travis walked back into the shadows, a single thought burned steady in his mind. This wasn't about forgiveness. It was about exposure. And Kendra was finally running out of places to hide. The faucet hissed with steam as Travis let the shower run longer than needed. It wasn't about the water, it was about the silence. The moments when his mind could build the next move in peace. He stepped out, towel over his shoulder, and stared into the fogged-up mirror. In his eyes now, no more confusion, no more hesitation. Just calculation. Downstairs, Kendra moved around the kitchen like everything was normal. Eggs cracking, coffee brewing, music low on the speaker. She looked up as he walked in and smiled like they were still a couple. Coffee? She asked, pouring it before he answered. He took it without a word. Saturday. Sipped. Cold. Just like her. So I called about that couple's retreat, she said. They have openings next weekend. He didn't look at her. Might be hard to leave town. She blinked. Why? I might be getting involved in something. He looked up now, meeting her eyes. With the sheriff's department. Kendra froze, just a half-second too long. Then laughed, forced. You? Come on. He shrugged. Micah Vale said they're looking for guys with a clean rep, military background, people they can trust. Her fingers trembled as she picked up her mug. She knew what that meant. He wasn't hinting. He was warning her. Marley entered the room, bag slung over one shoulder. I'm walking to school today. Travis stood. I'll go with you. They left together. Once they were far enough, Marley asked, You see her hands shake? Yeah. She's scared. She should be. They crossed the street. I have an idea, Marley said. She still doesn't know I copied her phone data, right? No, then we leak it. Travis paused. To who? Marley's smile was razor-sharp. Everyone. The next clue came by accident. Micah sent Travis a set of recovered voicemails, backed up from the burner's cloud server. One of them stood out immediately. A message from Kendra to Wes, dated a month before the baby was born. Travis played it twice, each word burning slower than the last. Don't panic, okay? I told him I'm miscarried. He won't ask questions. I just need time to finish this without him getting suspicious. He hit pause. Sat still. Then hit play again. She told Wes she lost the baby. But she hadn't. She'd lied to him, too. Travis forwarded the clip to Marley, who responded seconds later. Wait. So she made both of you think two different things. He texted back. She's playing both sides. And she's about to get caught in the middle. That evening, he showed the clip to Wes. They met in the same park, now colder, darker. Wes listened in silence. When the message ended, he didn't move for 10 full seconds. She told me the baby died, Wes finally said. She lied. I bought her prenatal vitamins, Wes muttered. I took her to appointments. Travis didn't interrupt. Wes paced, hands on his hips. She said she was alone. That you abandoned her. I sent her money. You were her backup plan. Wes stopped. So what now? Travis looked him square in the eye. Now? We take away her control. You ready to burn her bridge? Wes nodded once. Let's burn the whole thing. Kendra stared at her reflection, eyes red-rimmed. Her foundation couldn't cover the fatigue anymore. Her smile had started to slip in public, just enough for people to notice. Something was off, and she knew it. At work, the front desk girl barely looked at her. Her boss, Dr. Ingram, had stopped joking during breaks. Rumors were circling, quiet but fast. She came home that night to find the bathroom mirror fogged. A message etched across it with a fingertip. You lied to all of us. Her breath caught. She whipped the door open. No one there. She tore through the house. Marley's room, empty. Travis's truck, gone. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Tick-tock. He's not the only one watching now. She dropped the phone. When Travis came home, she was pacing in the kitchen. Panicked. Did you do this? She snapped. Do what? She shoved the phone toward him. He read it. Pocketed it. Calm as ice. Probably one of those spam bots. This isn't funny, Travis. He raised an eyebrow. You don't look well. She backed away, shaking her head. You're trying to make me lose it. No. I'm just letting the truth show up where it needs to. Kendra's hands curled into fists. If you push me, you'll what? He asked. Lie to someone else. Threaten a man with a kid that isn't his. Silence. He stepped past her, opened the fridge, grabbed a water bottle. She stayed frozen. Upstairs, Marley opened her laptop. Her newest anonymous upload was already gaining traction. Title: Proof your favorite mom of the year is lying to everyone. View count, rising fast. Karma had gone digital, and it wasn't backing down. Marley stood by the back fence, hoodie pulled over her head, staring at the phone in her hand. She'd just posted the video, the one with Kendra's texts, the one that was already exploding. 1,000 views in 20 minutes, hundreds of comments. People were picking it up, sharing it. She should have felt triumphant, but all she felt was pressure in her chest. Travis stepped onto the porch. You okay? She turned slowly. I didn't tell you something. He nodded for her to go on. I knew about Wes. Months ago, she said, eyes down. before you got back. I saw them together. At the gas station. I didn't say anything because I thought, maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe I was wrong. You weren't, he said. I just wanted it to stop, she whispered. Travis walked down the steps and stood next to her. It's not your job to fix adults, Marley. She looked up, tears in her eyes. But I wanted to protect you. And I didn't. She played you like you were stupid. He placed a hand on her shoulder. You did protect me. You're the reason I didn't go off the rails. You're why I stayed smart. She wiped her face. It doesn't feel like enough. It's more than enough, he said. They walked back inside together. The house was silent, too silent. Kendra had left an hour earlier to clear her head. She hadn't said where she was going. Travis picked up his phone. Let's test something. He dialed Wes. Yeah, came the voice. She with you right now? A pause. No. Haven't heard from her since yesterday. Travis ended the call. Turned to Marley. Then she's doing something stupid. And they needed to move before stupid turned dangerous. The plan had been in place for 2 weeks. Small, silent, and brutal. While Kendra slept one night, Travis and Marley worked. A microspicum hidden inside the nursery vent, barely visible. Another tucked into a hollowed-out copy of To Kill a Mockingbird on the bookshelf. Audio bugs embedded into the wall charger blocks she used every night. She had no clue. Everything she said, every call she made, every little breakdown behind closed doors, they caught all of it. The real prize came 3 nights later. Kendra was on the phone, pacing the hallway upstairs. I don't care what he thinks. The paperwork is clean. He has no idea about the money. She paused. Listened. No, I already moved it. He signed over power of attorney before deployment. I just need to close it out before he figures out what's missing. Travis sat in the garage, listening through earbuds, jaw locked. She'd stolen from him. Not just emotionally. Legally. Financially. Another voice came through on the call. Muted. Male. Smug. Not Wes. Another player. One they hadn't identified yet. We'll burn the files when it's done, the voice said. Let him sue. He won't win. Travis hit record. Save the file. Inside the house, Kendra hung up and walked into the nursery. Picked up Junie. Whispered softly. You don't need him. He's just a stepping stone. She kissed the baby's forehead and sat in the rocking chair. Humming. The perfect mother, for the camera. For her image. But not for the truth. Marley played the footage back twice. She's going to try to cash you out. She already did, Travis said. She just doesn't know she walked into her own trap. Who was the other guy? Marley asked. We'll find out, Travis said. And when we do, we bury them together. Wes sat in his car outside the precinct, knuckles white around the steering wheel. He'd just left a meeting with internal affairs. They were circling. He knew it. And the walls were getting tighter every day. He hadn't said anything. Not yet. But they were onto the towing scam. The missed reports. The falsified patrol logs. All breadcrumbs that led back to him. And Kendra? She was radio silent. Travis had stopped calling. It was all unraveling. He lit a cigarette with shaking fingers and stared at the envelope in his passenger seat. Copies of Kendra's texts, the voicemail lie about the miscarriage, everything Travis had handed him in that park. He didn't want to go down for her. Not when she was planning to let him burn. Back at home, Travis was printing out copies of every bank transaction, every financial shift Kendra made while he was away. It all linked back to one moment, when she used his deployment to shift power of attorney and drained an account he didn't even know she had access to. Marley stood over his shoulder. What do we do with this? We don't give it to a lawyer, Travis said. We give it to her boss. Dr. Ingram was quiet. Professional. A respected figure in their town. If he saw proof that his office manager was stealing, manipulating finances, abusing legal rights, she'd lose everything in one phone call. Travis slid the file into a padded envelope. No name. Just one sentence on a note inside. This is who you're trusting with your reputation. No return address. No signature. Just karma delivered, sealed. Outside, Marley watched the mail truck pull away. She turned to her dad. She's going to crack. Travis didn't smile. Just said, she already has. Kendra's smile strained beneath the weight of the camera flash. A local journalist had pulled her aside during the community fundraiser at Riverbend Park. "Smile, Miss Huxley," the woman said. "Our Mothers Who Inspire column is running this weekend." Kendra posed, polished and perfect in her pastel blazer, hair curled just enough. Junie on her hip, pacifier clipped to her dress. A picture of family grace. But underneath, her hands were trembling. She hadn't slept right in days. Could barely eat. Travis was colder than a wall. Marley wouldn't even look at her. Something had shifted, a line had been crossed, and she didn't know what they knew. But she knew they knew something. The fundraiser swirled around her, balloons, cotton candy, strollers, and laughter. Applause came from the stage as a local veteran was honored. And then the murmurs began. It started near the food trucks. Two moms whispering, glancing her way. Then at the juice tent, someone scrolling through a phone, turning the screen to another woman, eyes widening. Kendra turned to the reporter. "When's that story running again?" "Sunday," the woman said. "We've gotten a great response to the preview." "Preview? Oh, it was just a teaser. Your community nominations, a few photos, links to your profile." Kendra's blood ran cold. Her profile was already being linked. And Marley had posted again last night. By the time she reached her car, Kendra's phone was buzzing with anonymous texts. "You're not who you pretend to be. Cheater. Thief. Faker. Nice smile. Shame about the soul." She sat behind the wheel, gripping the steering wheel with shaking hands. In her side mirror, Travis stood at a distance, holding Junie. He didn't wave. He didn't need to. She was already unraveling. The courthouse steps were busier than usual that morning. A family court session. Media hanging around for a custody case involving a local businesswoman and her athlete ex. Kendra adjusted her blouse. Heels clicking on stone, sunglasses hiding the shadows under her eyes. She clutched her purse like a lifeline. She hadn't told Travis she was filing. She thought she'd catch him off guard. That was the plan. Walk in, serve him with preliminary filings for separation and child support. Control the narrative before he could. She stepped through the doors, passed the security check, gave her name to the front desk, and froze. "Travis Huxley already filed this morning," the clerk said. Kendra's breath caught. "I'm sorry. He beat you by about 2 hours. Full petition for divorce, request for full custody of both minors, and an addendum for financial misconduct." "What?" Her voice cracked. The clerk raised an eyebrow. "You didn't know?" She turned and walked out, stunned. He'd outplayed her. Silently, cleanly, publicly. When she reached the parking lot, Travis was already standing beside her car, papers in hand. "Thought I'd save you the walk," he said, offering her the envelope. "You did this behind my back?" she whispered. He tilted his head. "Funny. That's what I said about the baby." Tears welled, but she blinked them away. "You'll regret this. Marley asked for this," he cut in. "She doesn't want to live in your story anymore." She clutched the papers, fingers digging into the corner. Travis stepped closer, voice quiet. "You were never going to win this. You just didn't know you'd already lost." He walked away, leaving her in the parking lot with the morning sun too bright and the silence too loud. She had no control now, no leverage, no mask to hide behind, only consequences. The radio crackled in Wes's cruiser, but he wasn't listening. He sat parked near the county line, engine idling, eyes locked on the rear view. Not for a suspect. For himself. The internal affairs meeting had been short. Brutal. Effective. 2 anonymous tips. Cross-reference dates. GPS logs. He was being suspended, pending investigation. Wes rubbed his face with both hands, the weight of everything pressing down like concrete. The lies, the shortcuts, the favors Kendra begged for. Every one of them was catching up now, and none of it was even his baby. His phone buzzed. A message from her. "I need your help. Meet me. Urgent." He didn't reply. He stared at the message, then deleted it. Then deleted her number. The truth stung more than the consequences. He'd risked his career, his marriage, his name, for a woman who didn't even flinch when he started to fall. Back in town, Travis sat in the lawyer's office reviewing paperwork. Marley was across from him, earbuds in, but listening. "Wes is out," Travis said quietly. "Good," she replied. He was part of her system, and she's losing all of it. The lawyer handed Travis the final form for emergency custody. "You're clear," he said. "She's been deemed a risk. You're in full control." Travis signed. Outside, the sky was darker than usual, thunder rolling in. Karma didn't need fireworks. Sometimes, it came in clouds and silence, slow, heavy, and deserved. At that very moment, West drove past the "Now Leaving County" sign. Lights off. Badge on the seat beside him. Done. The nursery was quiet. Too quiet. Kendra stood in the doorway, staring at the shelf where the baby book used to sit. The pink one with Junie's name embroidered in gold. Gone. She opened drawers, flipped through baskets, tore through the diaper bag. Nothing. Her breathing quickened. "Where is it?" she whispered. She found it on the back patio, burned edges, curled photos. It sat in the fire pit, pages half-torched, the name Junie barely legible under a layer of ash. She stared down at it, hand over her mouth. Footsteps behind her. "You shouldn't have written in it," Travis said. "Not when half the dates didn't match." Kendra turned, wide-eyed. "That book was a record of your lies," he said. "Fake due dates. Doctor visits that didn't happen. Photos from a stock website. I was trying to keep it together." She snapped. "You weren't here, Travis." "I was fighting a war," he said, voice low. "And you brought one home." Kendra dropped to the edge of the pit, hands trembling over the charred pages. "She's still my daughter. She's not mine," he said, steady. "And she's not Wes's. You don't even know who she belongs to." "I do," she whispered. He paused. "Say that again?" "I know," Kendra repeated, standing slowly. "I always did." Travis stepped closer. "Who is it?" Kendra looked him straight in the eye. "Someone you don't even remember." The name came out in a whisper. Cameron Ryle. Travis's blood ran cold. That name hadn't been spoken in nearly 7 years, a former superior officer. The one who handled logistics during Travis's first deployment. The man who used to call Kendra for family updates. Travis's voice was barely audible. "You slept with him?" Kendra turned away. "It was complicated. You were gone. I was alone." He took a step closer. "He was my commanding officer. I didn't plan for it," she said, wiping her eyes. "It just happened. You kept that from me for 7 years. I didn't want to destroy you." "No," Travis said, shaking his head. "You didn't want to destroy your own image. You didn't want to admit what you really are." Kendra crossed her arms. "You think you're so clean? I never cheated. I never stole. I never used my daughter as a prop." She looked like she might cry, but Travis didn't flinch. He turned to walk away. "You're not going to tell anyone?" she asked behind him. He paused. "Why would I waste the reveal?" he said. "Some things are better when they explode at the perfect moment." As he walked inside, Marley met him at the hallway. "You okay?" She said the real father is Cameron Ryle. Marley blinked. "The guy you saved from an IED?" Travis nodded slowly. "That one." They stood in silence for a moment. Then Marley said, "She didn't just betray you. She betrayed who you were back then." He looked at her. "Exactly." That night, Travis pulled out an old steel case from under the bed, the one he hadn't touched since his second deployment. Inside, medals, ID tags, faded photos, and a flash drive marked personal. He plugged it into Marley's laptop, pulled up old email chains, military logs, troop assignments. There he was, Captain Cameron Ryle, last stationed at Fort Benning. Dishonorably discharged 2 years ago for inappropriate relations with a subordinate spouse. Travis sat back in the chair, stunned. "She wasn't the only one," he said aloud. Marley leaned over his shoulder. "She was part of a pattern?" "She was his pattern." Marley shook her head. "That's disgusting." "It's bigger than us," Travis murmured. They stared at the screen. Dozens of names. Possible other families broken by the same man. "What are you thinking?" Marley asked. Travis stared at the flashing cursor in the search bar. "We don't just expose her. We take down the man who taught her how to lie." Marley smiled grimly. "Now it's a war." "No," Travis said. "Now it's justice." He looked at the wall, where Junie's burnt baby book had once sat. The ashes were gone now, scattered to the wind. But the truth? The truth was finally catching fire. The birth certificate was never updated. That's what Travis discovered when he pulled Junie's records from the county archive. Kendra hadn't listed a father, just her name, not Travis's, not Wes's. And now, knowing what he knew, that omission felt like more than guilt, it felt like design. Marley sat beside him in the passenger seat, her eyes scanning the copy. She knew it would come back on her someday. She wanted options, Travis said, jaw tight. No name, no legal tie. That way she could pin paternity on whoever benefited her most, or whoever had the deepest pockets. Travis's hand tightened on the steering wheel. She played both of us like pieces. Me for reputation, Wes for protection, Ryle for legacy. You think Ryle knows? Travis didn't answer right away. If he doesn't, he's about to. They pulled into a parking lot behind the local courthouse. Travis had arranged a quiet meeting with a friend who still worked with military case files. He handed over a flash drive with the discharge records and Ryle's history. You're going after him? The man asked. I'm not going after him, Travis said. I'm just going to shine a light and see what crawls out. Back home, Kendra was pacing. She'd seen Marley's latest post, a side-by-side of the baby, Wes, Travis, and a blurred photo of a third man with the caption, "You don't need a lab to smell a lie." The comments were brutal. She slammed the phone down, breathing hard. She wasn't losing control. She'd already lost it. And the storm hadn't even hit yet. The next morning, Marley followed Kendra downtown. She watched from across the street as Kendra walked into her workplace, the dental clinic she'd managed for years, like everything was fine. Inside, Kendra was met with cold stares. Dr. Ingram, the clinic's owner, stood near the front desk holding an envelope. Kendra, he said flatly, we need to talk. She tried to smile. Of course. Just let me put my... He cut her off. Now. She followed him to his office. He closed the door, laid the envelope on the desk between them. What is this? She asked. I received it anonymously. 3 days ago. He opened the file and pulled out the printed screenshots, bank transfers, forged logins, phone transcripts from the clinic's private number. Her stomach turned. Someone hacked me. No, someone caught you, he said. You've been using your role to reroute patient reimbursements into a side account. You set it up under a fake vendor. That's not true. Dr. Ingram didn't blink. It's traceable. We ran it. Your name's on the account. Kendra's hands trembled. I can fix this. You can leave, he said, standing. Or I file a criminal complaint. Your choice. She backed out of the room, barely breathing. As she walked outside, Marley leaned against a bench across the street, watching, phone in hand, camera still rolling. Later that day, she uploaded the footage under a new headline. She lied at home. She stole at work. The video hit 50,000 views in 3 hours. Karma wasn't just online anymore. It was becoming public record. Marley sat at her desk, headphones on, eyes locked to the screen. Her editing timeline looked like a war map. Clips, text overlays, audio bites, and slow zooms. She wasn't just posting videos now. She was building a case. Every lie her mother told. Every name dropped. Every face blurred for drama, but clear enough for those who needed to know. She layered timelines. The night of the burner call, the gas station sighting, the financial docs they uncovered. She synced it with voiceovers that hit like narration in a revenge docuseries. This wasn't just cheating, she said into the mic. This was strategy. A blueprint of betrayal. And we followed the trail all the way to the man who trained her to lie. A still photo of Cameron Ryle appeared. Marley zoomed in on his smirking face. Former officer. Discharged. Untouchable. Until now. She posted it under a new alias, Daughter of the Fallout, and hit publish. Travis walked into her room as she sat back, headphones down. You sure about this? He asked. I'm not afraid of her anymore, Marley said. And the world deserves to see what she's been hiding. He nodded. You're more brave than most grown men I know. She smirked. You raised me. Her phone dinged. New comment. Wait, isn't that the same guy from the foot bending scandal? Then another. I knew that name. He ruined my sister's marriage. She almost took her own life. The flood had begun. Travis leaned over her shoulder, watching the views rise. She won't recover from this, he said. Marley looked up. She shouldn't. The community center buzzed with applause. Travis stood on the stage, hands in his pockets, his army dress shirt pressed crisp under the overhead lights. The banner behind him read, "Honoring our heroes, service, strength, integrity." Marley sat in the front row, her phone off for once, eyes locked on her father. She'd never seen him look like this before, not as a soldier, not even as a dad. He looked respected, unshakable. The mayor handed him a plaque, smiling wide for the cameras. "Sergeant Travis Huxley, for your service overseas and your example at home." Travis nodded, offered a tight but sincere thank you, and stepped back to the mic. "I didn't ask for this," he said, voice low but steady. "Didn't expect it either. I just came home and did what I thought was right. Sometimes that means silence. Sometimes that means standing up, even when it hurts." A few people murmured in agreement. Marley felt tears sting her eyes. Outside, Kendra stood in the parking lot, sunglasses covering her face. She couldn't get in, not after the story broke. Not after Marley's video hit 200,000 views. People were whispering. Her phone hadn't stopped buzzing all week. Cheater. Thief. Fake. She thought she'd take Travis down, control the narrative. Instead, she was the one outside the story now, unwelcome, unread, unmissed. Inside, Travis finished his speech. Not all battles are fought overseas. Applause thundered. Kendra turned and walked away. The courtroom was cold, sterile, and too quiet. Travis sat straight, suit pressed, eyes alert. Marley beside him, her posture just as strong. Kendra entered last. She looked thinner, pale. Her lawyer whispered something to her, but she barely responded. The judge, a woman in her late 50s, adjusted her glasses. "I've reviewed both parties' statements, the financial discrepancies, the parental records, and the submitted recordings." Kendra's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, we maintain that Ms. Huxley was under emotional distress, and any financial issues were due to miscommunication, not fraud." The judge raised a brow. She rerouted over $17,000 during her husband's deployment. Kendra didn't move. Additionally, the judge continued, her online behavior and viral exposure, courtesy of her own daughter, paint a concerning picture of manipulation and dishonesty. Marley didn't gloat. She just looked straight ahead. The judge turned to Travis. "You're seeking full custody?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Of Marley and the minor child?" "Yes." Kendra finally spoke, voice shaking. "She's my baby. She's not biologically tied to either party," the judge noted. "But Mr. Huxley has provided full care and financial support since birth. Ms. Huxley, on the other hand, submitted no verified paternity documentation." Silence. "I'm granting Mr. Huxley sole legal and physical custody of both children. Visitation for Ms. Huxley will be reviewed after psychological evaluation and further financial auditing." The gavel struck. Kendra closed her eyes. She had lost everything. They didn't go home right away. Travis and Marley drove instead, past the edge of town, down the roads where fields opened wide and the sky felt a little bigger. In the back seat, Junie slept peacefully, thumb in her mouth. Marley leaned her head against the window. "You think she's going to try to come back?" "She might," Travis said. "But not for the right reasons." "She always wanted control," Marley said. "Even over me. She won't get it again." They pulled off the road and parked near a quiet stretch of farmland. A bench overlooked the valley below. Travis got out, lifted Junie gently from the car seat, and handed her to Marley. She held the baby carefully, whispering something into her ear that Travis couldn't hear, but saw in her eyes. "Peace. For the first time in a long time. You did more than survive this," he said. "You fought it better than I did." Marley smiled. "You didn't yell. You didn't break things. You didn't lose it." "I wanted to," he admitted. "But you didn't." Travis looked out over the fields. "Because I knew what mattered. And I wasn't going to let her take that from me." Marley stood beside him, baby still in her arms. "You think she'll change?" she asked. "No," he said. "But we did. That's what counts." She nodded. And under that wide sky, father and daughter stood shoulder to shoulder, no longer surviving in silence, but living in truth. The war was almost over. Only one chapter of vengeance remained. It was a warm Saturday afternoon, The kind that made people pretend everything was fine. Wes sat alone at a park picnic table, melting ice cream dripping down the side of his cone. He hadn't shaved in days. His badge was gone. His gun turned in. His wife had taken the kids and moved in with her sister 2 towns over. He stared out at the playground, watching fathers push swings. He could have been one of them, if he hadn't been so stupid. Behind him, a man in a polo shirt leaned against a tree, phone camera quietly rolling. Wes muttered to no one in particular. She said it'd be different. Said we'd leave town. Said the kid was mine. The man stepped closer. Who said that? Wes didn't even look at him. Kendra. The whole time. She had me thinking I was some damn knight. She lied to both of us. You knew she was married? I didn't care. Wes spat. I thought she was stuck. I thought I was saving her. He wiped his mouth, smeared ice cream across his cheek. I helped her forge documents. Used my access to wipe traffic tickets. Covered for her when she skipped appointments. Thought we were building a future. The man took one step closer, catching every word. And now, Wes said, half laughing, half breaking. Now she won't even answer my texts. The man clicked stop on the recording and walked away. Later that night, the video was uploaded. Caption: The deputy who got played. Raw confession. Travis watched the views climb from his laptop. Marley beside him. That's it, she said. That's the last nail. He nodded. Now we bury the coffin. Kendra woke up to silence, and something worse. Her banking app was locked. Her backup card declined at the gas station. Her emergency stash in the kitchen drawer? Empty. She stood frozen in the middle of the living room, phone to her ear. This is a mistake, she told the bank rep. That account's mine. Ma'am, it was listed as joint under power of attorney granted to your ex-husband during his deployment. When he revoked your access, we froze it under fraud suspicion. She dropped the phone. All her leverage. All her planning. Gone. She stormed into her bedroom, yanked open her laptop, and typed in her savings portal. Locked. Every account. Every dollar. Frozen. Outside, Marley stood by Travis's truck, watching from across the street as her mother paced, pulled her hair, screamed into the void. She looks like she's about to combust, Marley said. She is, Travis replied. Took her years to build a fake world. Took us 3 months to burn it down. Inside, Kendra's hands flew across her phone screen. Kendra, I know what you're doing. You're not God. You can't just erase me. Travis, didn't have to. You did it yourself. Kendra, you think you've won? Travis, I'm not done yet. She threw the phone across the room, shattering it against the wall. Her empire had collapsed. No money. No custody. No control. And worse, no one left to call. The waiting room smelled like old books and lemon cleaner. A soft piano version of some top 40 song played in the background. Kendra sat on the couch with her legs crossed tightly, arms folded. Her eyes were red-rimmed, lips pressed into a hard line. Dr. Avery entered, clipboard in hand. Kendra. She looked up, nodded, followed him into the office. So, he said gently, why are you here? I didn't come for guilt, she snapped. I came for clarity. Dr. Avery didn't flinch. Then let's talk about truth. Kendra hesitated. My husband betrayed me. Your ex-husband? She clenched her jaw. He turned my daughter against me. Made me look insane. Took everything. Did you cheat? Silence. Did you lie about the child's father? Another silence. Kendra, clarity can't exist without ownership. Her voice dropped. I thought I was smarter. Dr. Avery leaned in. And were you? Tears threatened her eyes. I used to be in control. What do you want now? She didn't answer. Because she didn't know. Outside, Travis sat in his truck, parked across the street. He wasn't there to spy. He was there to make sure she was actually in therapy. Not for her sake, but for Junie's. Is she going to change? Marley asked from the back seat. No, Travis said. But she'll be watched now. That was all they needed. Eyes on her. Everywhere. No room for deception ever again. It was late. The kind of quiet that made every movement sound like thunder. Kendra sat at the dining table with a glass of wine she couldn't finish, a pen in her hand, and a blank card in front of her. She started writing. Dear Junie, I don't know where to begin. I don't know if I'll ever deserve to be part of your life. But you should know I wasn't always like this. She paused, scratched the line out. You're innocent. Beautiful. I held you and felt something pure. And still, I used you. That's the truth. Another pause. I hope someday you'll understand that people break themselves before they break others. Kendra set the pen down. She didn't cry, but something in her went still. She folded the card, slipped it into an envelope. No address, no stamp. She placed it in the bookshelf between two unused cookbooks, just in case someone ever looked. Just in case she never got to speak again. Across town, Travis carried Junie to bed. She stirred but didn't wake. Marley peeked in. She's sleeping better now. She knows she's safe. He stood at the door a moment longer, then turned off the light. No more lies. No more chaos. Just sleep. Just peace. The auditorium buzzed with energy, families cheering, camera flashes, scattered applause after every name called. Rows of students in navy blue caps lined the stage, fidgeting with nerves and pride. Marley Huxley sat in the third row, tassel hanging low over one eye, fingers gripping her folded speech. Backstage, Travis adjusted his blazer. A local principal had asked him to say a few words for the students, they said. But he knew the real reason. People had followed their story. Quiet admiration had turned public. He wasn't a war hero anymore. He was something rare. A man who survived betrayal without letting it turn him bitter. The speaker called Marley's name. She stepped onto the stage, tall, steady, her chin lifted. The auditorium erupted with cheers, but the loudest came from the front row, Travis, standing, clapping hard, eyes glassy but proud. As she took her diploma, the mic was handed to her. You prepared something? The MC asked. Marley nodded, took the stand, and looked out across the crowd. I thought about writing something safe, she began. Something standard. But this year wasn't standard. I watched my family fall apart. I watched someone I love be lied to, stolen from, humiliated, and I watched him rise anyway. People shifted in their seats. Phones came out. Marley continued, voice steady. Everything I am now came from that man. He didn't scream. He didn't hit back. He planned. He taught me that silence, when rooted in truth, is the loudest thing in the room. She looked at her dad. And today, I graduate because of him. The applause was deafening. They met in a quiet cafe, the kind with soft jazz and overpriced coffee. The reporter, a sharp-eyed woman from a statewide news podcast, clicked her recorder on. Travis Huxley, she said. People know your name now, but not your side. Travis sipped his coffee. That's the way I wanted it. Until now? He nodded. Not for revenge. For truth. The interview was deep, respectful. He didn't bash Kendra by name, didn't glorify his suffering. He told the facts, the silence, the strategies. The war fought inside his own home, without fists or rage. What made you stay quiet? The reporter asked. He looked at the recorder. Because loud men are easy to ignore. But a man who waits, who moves when no one's watching, that's someone you remember. The episode dropped 2 days later. The headline read, The Quiet Soldier, How One Man Took Down a Lie Without Saying a Word. It trended for 72 hours. People reposted quotes, memes, TikToks. Messages poured in. I wish I had your strength. You taught me not all heroes need uniforms. And beneath every comment, one truth kept rising. Silence is the sharpest weapon when you know how to aim it. The warehouse was hot, loud, and unforgiving. Wes pushed a broom down the concrete aisle, sweat bleeding through his shirt. The foreman barely nodded at him. The other guys didn't talk to him. They knew his face. They'd seen the video. Used to be a cop, someone muttered once. Now he can't even clean up his own mess. Wes said nothing. He just swept. Every night he drove back to a one-bedroom rental, his badge still locked in a drawer. He'd look at it sometimes, then shut it again like a wound that wouldn't heal. One evening, he opened his phone and saw the podcast clip of Travis. He listened. Travis's voice came through calmly. Some men hurt others and call it protection. Some get hurt and protect anyway. You choose which one you'll be. Wes turned the phone off. That night, he didn't sleep. He just stared at the ceiling, wondering if redemption was ever possible or if men like him were meant to stay broken. Kendra knocked on her mother's door with trembling hands. It had been months. She hadn't called. Not after the financial blackout. Not after the court hearings. Not after Marley's speech went viral. She expected silence. But the door opened. Her mother stood there, older, smaller than Kendra remembered, holding a laundry basket. "Hi," Kendra said, barely a whisper. Her mother looked her over, took in the worn clothes, the tired eyes, the damage. "I don't want anything," Kendra added. "Just to say sorry. And maybe to see Junie. Someday." Her mother set the basket down, crossed her arms. "You lied to us. You lied to your daughter. You let your husband carry your sins like armor while you danced through your lies." Kendra blinked, stunned. "I don't know if you can fix it," her mother said, "but don't expect the world to wait while you decide." She didn't slam the door. She just closed it slowly. That was worse. Kendra stood there, in the fading evening light, with nothing. No family. No love. Just a letter buried between cookbooks and a daughter she may never know again. And for once, she didn't fight it. The sky stretched wider in Arizona. The air was drier. The nights cooler. And for Travis, the silence wasn't tense anymore. It was clean. Their new house sat on the edge of a quiet community. One story. Open porch. A backyard that caught the desert sun just right in the evening. Marley unpacked her last box and taped a photo to her bedroom wall. Her, Travis, and Junie on the bench after graduation. Her real family. No performance. No pretending. Junie toddled down the hallway, chasing a rubber giraffe. Her laugh echoed down the walls like music. Travis stood in the doorway, watching. "She's happier here," Marley said, stepping up beside him. "She feels it," he said. "She feels peace." "Do you?" He nodded, slow. For the first time in years. Later that week, Travis met the neighbors at a community cookout. Nobody knew his story. Nobody cared. They shook his hand, offered beers, passed paper plates full of ribs and coleslaw. Normal. Earned. When someone asked what brought him to town, he just smiled. Time for something new. He didn't need to explain. Some wounds don't need a spotlight. Just clean air to heal. It was late again. The kind of late where the world turns soft and honest. Travis sat at the kitchen table, pen in hand, a notepad in front of him. He'd written battle logs, military reports, even statements to attorneys. But never this. He started slow. "To the man I used to be, I'm sorry for what you didn't see. I'm sorry for believing in a woman who wore your kindness like armor and stabbed you from behind it." He paused, took a sip of water. "But I'm proud of you. You didn't burn the house down. You didn't scream at the walls. You rebuilt." His hand shook slightly as he kept writing. "You didn't just protect your daughter. You gave her courage. You didn't just survive betrayal. You turned it into a blueprint for others to follow. And one more thing," he smiled. "You didn't lose your family. You saved what mattered." He folded the letter, slid it into an envelope, and tucked it into the same fireproof box that held Junie's new birth certificate and their Arizona deed. Not for court. Not for records. Just for him. A reminder that some victories don't make noise. They make peace. The blog was never meant to go viral. Marley started it one night on impulse. A corner of the internet titled, "Silent Wins." She told her story, not with names or drama, but with lessons. How to recognize manipulation. How to rebuild with dignity. How to outsmart pain without letting it harden you. The first post ended with, "I didn't grow up in a perfect home. I grew up in a real one. Built by a man who never needed to shout to be powerful." Comments poured in. Teens. Single moms. Soldiers. Survivors. One reply read, "Your dad changed how I see men. Thank you for showing us he exists." Another said, "Tell him he's not just your father. He's ours now too." Marley showed Travis the comments. He just smiled. Quietly. Proudly. He didn't need a stage. He had a legacy. And it wasn't built from revenge. It was built from restraint. The lawyer's office in Arizona was calm. Bookshelves, desert art, a little cactus on the desk. The lawyer handed Travis a form and a pen. "This will make it official," she said. "You'll be listed as her legal guardian and adoptive parent." The name change goes into effect immediately. Travis looked at the paper. Juniper Huxley. No hyphen. No footnotes. No ghosts. he signed. Across from him, Marley bounced the toddler on her lap. Junie squealed, clapping her hands. She doesn't even remember the past, Marley whispered. She shouldn't have to, Travis replied. The lawyer smiled. You've done right by her. She deserves a clean name, he said. One she never has to question. As they stepped outside, Marley handed Travis a little bracelet she had custom-made. It said, Junie Huxley, brave start, she's ours now, Marley said. Travis looked down at his daughter's fingers wrapped around his. She always was, he said. And with that, they walked into the sun. No shadows, no lies, no unfinished stories. Just the future. Downtown Phoenix. Family court. Kendra sat alone on the bench outside courtroom C9, holding a thin manila envelope and a trembling purse strap. Her nails were chipped. Her blazer didn't quite fit like it used to. The courtroom door opened. Her name was called. Inside, Travis sat with his lawyer. Calm. Silent. Junie was at home with Marley, napping in the new nursery. Everything about him looked steady, measured. Kendra didn't look at him. The judge entered, adjusted his glasses, and began. This hearing is regarding the finalization of parental rights, post-custody ruling. Based on submitted documents and findings by the Department of Family Welfare, he paused. Kendra Huxley's rights as legal guardian and biological parent are hereby revoked due to fraud, endangerment, financial exploitation during active duty deployment, and obstruction of legal processes. The words landed like hammers. Kendra blinked slowly. The judge continued. Ms. Huxley will forfeit all visitation requests for the foreseeable future. A future appeal may be filed, but it will require court-ordered rehabilitation and supervised psychological counseling, with no guarantees of reversal. Kendra's voice cracked. But she's still my daughter. The judge looked down. She's someone's daughter, but not yours anymore. Gavel down. Final. Travis stood. Kendra didn't. She just sat there, still, like someone frozen in a life that kept moving without her. 2 months later, Marley opened a book in the old kitchen cabinet, the one Travis had finally gotten around to cleaning out. Inside was an envelope. No stamp. No return address. Just a name, Junie. Marley sat on the floor, legs crossed, and read silently. Dear baby, I hope you never read this. Because if you do, it means I failed. I never meant to become the kind of mother who only existed in shadows. I just didn't know how to be anything else. You didn't deserve the lies, or the games, or to be born in chaos. But you were beautiful. You were mine, even if I never really got to be yours. Marley folded the letter, hands soft. She placed it in the drawer, far from sight, not to hide it, but because some truths are better left behind when peace has finally been found. She walked outside. Junie was chasing butterflies in the backyard. Travis was barbecuing, sleeves rolled up, laughing at something Marley couldn't hear. The family was full, even without the ones who walked away. It was night again. Stars above. Porch light on. Junie asleep in her room. Marley sketching beside the window, headphones in. Travis stood in the backyard alone, a small fire pit glowing. In his hands, the final piece. The old photo of their family, him, Kendra, Marley, the illusion of happiness. He stared at it one last time, then tossed it into the flames. The photo curled inward, blackened at the edges. Gone. A symbol, not of hate, but of release. Marley stepped out behind him. Feels different now, doesn't it? He nodded. Like breathing clean air. We did it, she said. No, Travis said. You did. I just kept the roof steady while you rebuilt the walls. They sat beside the fire for a long time. No more strategy. No more silence needed. Only peace. Only family. And so this story ends not with a scream, but with a soft, steady victory. A man who never raised his voice, but still raised his family. A girl who became a woman while watching a warrior rebuild with grace. And a child who will grow up knowing the truth. Real love isn't loud. It's unshakable. Now before you go, let me ask you something from the heart. What would you have done if you were in Travis's shoes? Drop your answer in the comments. I really want to know. And tell me, where are you watching from right now? I read every country, every city. Let's connect. If this story gripped your heart, like it's so others don't miss it. Subscribe if you want more powerful stories like this, because trust me, we're just getting started. And hey, share this with someone who needs to see what quiet strength looks like. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next thriller, epic revenge, and unforgettable story. The end.